Hello. Well, we're back again on your favorite program, TS. So you're talking to TalkShopians and TalkShoppers and everybody who's getting involved in nation building. Well, as you know, we say it all the time. On TalkShop, we tell the truth. We say it like it is. And let the chips fall where they may. And as we always say, truth crashed to earth shall rise again. Anytime we crash your adversary. And then finally, we have given our gendarmes this commitment that you can do all the gendarme you want. But trust me, this time we shall face the gendarme and suffocate the gendarme with the truth. We will. Okay, and the question that is on your lips, what time is it, folks? And the answer is nation time. It is nation time. We'll build this nation. We'll build this nation. Today I have a few thoughts on my mind. So let me just clear a few things on my mind. Please follow me. It may be controversial, small, but there's something that I want to say. And you know what I want to say today? Folks, all I want to say is I am appealing to the NDC to learn something small from the NPP. Maka. And I mean it though. I think the NDC can take some lessons from the NPP. You know what lesson I want the NDC to learn from the NPP? Have you heard this statement? They say, if you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. Let me tell you, if you are not confident enough to say I am, and you are waiting for somebody to say, oh, thou art, it won't happen. So they say, if you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. And the thing is this, the reality of life is this. If you don't blow your own horn, nobody will blow it for you. Why am I saying all of this? This is what I think the NDC should learn from the NPP small. Let me start with the NPP small. Charlie, NPP had the ability to say, I am. They had the ability to blow their own trumpet. And as a matter of fact, even in opposition, and we are laughing at the NPP, what do we say? Micro minority, desperate minority. Even in opposition, they say we are the mighty.
We are the mighty few.
Mighty minority. Mighty minority.
We are the mighty few.
Mighty. We are the mighty. We are the mighty minority. You see, they blow their own horn to the extent, Christ said, in the opposition, they hasn't blown their own horn. No.
Fellow patriots, rather than feeling sorry for ourselves, let us face the truth. We took the hard, necessary decisions to save this economy. And now, Muhammad's government is taking propaganda credit, reaping where it has not sown. When they talk about resetting, they are simply rebranding our achievements and marketing them as their own. Let no one be deceived. The foundation they are standing on was laid by this party, by our sacrifices, by our bold leadership in the face of crisis.
Let me move forward small. Look under the NPP, Charlie. Trust me. There was a small appreciation in the CD. I don't remember the figures, but now the CD declined. There was a small appreciation. And it was around that time that King of Satire went to do the Eurobond, and they got some money through sale of the Eurobond. What happened? They blew their trumpet. How? They had a King and Watcher party. When he went to get Eurobonds, successful Eurobonds, And at that time, I think they were celebrating. They said they won't go to the IMF, and they have had some slight appreciation in the CD and something. They celebrated it with the Kenke and Wache party. If you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. Let's move on from there. I remember NABCO, Nation Builders and something. You know NABCO? NABCO was launched with fanfare. It was just like the best thing to happen to Ghana since independence. you know? And at the end of the day, NABCO flopped. People in NABCO were complaining they were not getting paid. NABCO was in disarray. But actually, guess what? During the anniversary celebration, Independence Day, did you actually see allegedly NABCO beneficiaries marching, celebrating NABCO? Charlie, this is what I'm talking about too. Let to blow your own hole small. Even in the midst of where they said NABCO was collapsing, there was a march past. Independence Day march past. If you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. And in this case, even if you are not, say I am. And it was funny, you know, it was everywhere. Oh, NABCO, there's this, there's that. It was there in the papers. It was there. Talk about planting for food and jobs. Planting food and jobs. That's at the time when even farmers were complaining that they were not even getting the fertilizer that used to be free of charge. Now they have to buy it. And that era when I think our Greek minister went and brought some plantain to Accra, that they are cheaper. There's a whole mess. But I'm saying planting for food and jobs was celebrated. The best agricultural decision ever. Charlie, if you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. So even when you aren't, you say I am. We saw that. Let's move it on. SHS was a fantastic idea. I mean, free education, free senior, free SHS. You know, got some amazing beneficiaries and everything. But the fact is that it was fraught with so many problems. But no. I'm not talking about the problems. We were celebrating the fact that it had happened. Headmasters couldn't really explain the trouble they were going through. Students really couldn't complain about the food or lack of. Hey, it is SHS. It was like an end to all our problems. I mean, in a way, the good thing about this is that we have a policy. Let's celebrate it. You know? Folks, you remember how much E-levy was celebrated? Oh, man. There was actually a cake. They paid them. E-levy cake. And I remember, I think, may he so rest in peace, I think it was Honorable John Kuma, who said that even if Ghanaians allow E-levy to go through, we will not go to the IMF anymore.
Mr. Speaker, the E-levy is also going to help with the fiscal consolidation effort and reduce the debt levels of our country. And that also means that we are going to see an improved economic ratings and not returning to the International Monetary Fund. We will not go to the IMF today, we will not go to IMF tomorrow, and we are not going as long as the NPP remains in power.
That was a promise. E-levy is going to come, and as a result of that, all the contractors will be paid, and there will be no more IMF ever. That's how E-levy was celebrated, though. People were flown from the US to come to make sure that we get the votes to vote for E-levy, and E-levy passed. And it was celebrated. If you don't say I am, nobody say that, too. Remember E-levy, how we celebrated it? We're no longer going to go to the IMF. I mean, granted, eventually we ended up there. But I'm talking about how something can be fronted and praised even if it's in the midst of failure. The packaging, you just have to say, oh, I salute it. It is working. Folks, it goes on and on and on and on. Even the National Cathedral was celebrated. This was going to be God's gift to Ghana. Or let me put it this way, this was going to be Ghana's gift to God. This National Cathedral was it. Finally, the salvation Ghana wants is in the building of a National Cathedral. So we spend, like $58 million plus to dig this big hole, to push it. Even though houses were destroyed, the passport office. I mean, the level of destruction of the things that they had to pull down. Nobody was talking about that. Because we were very happy, finally, Ghana was going to get the National Cathedral to serve God, and this is what God wants. Finally, you know, folks, you know what I'm taking you back to? I'm taking you back to the fact that if you don't say I am, they won't say thou art too. So even when you weren't, you were able to say thou art to the extent that people will say, okay, maybe it's a cool idea. Maybe we agree. Folks, no, I'm just drawing attention to things. I just remember, and when I remember Penamaka, I remember when the city appreciated small. Did you see Bawumia proudly declaring that he has locked the dollar? And the dollar was so safe, it's not going to go up again. Do you know why? Because he has locked it and given the key to the IGP.
And you have seen a stability return to the exchange rate. In fact, for the year, the city has appreciated in value. When we came in, it was running. Essentially, we have arrested it. and the IGP has the keys. He's locked it up. We've arrested it.
And the whole Ghana said, yay. Hey, Charlie, if you don't say I am, nobody will say that too. I'm not going to, you know. And folks, all I'm saying is that NDC, maybe you should also start learning some lessons more. Because some amazing things have happened. It's only 7 months, that we all understand. But thinking for what we went through for 8 years, even the 7 months, the slight accomplishments are worthy of celebration. But you don't know the NPP style. You know what I'm saying? Let's start even from the point of view of strengthening the currency. The minimal thing that the NPP did, Bawumia said he has locked it, is giving the key to the IGP. You know? And look at the impressive level that Forsen has been able to do. But it's sort of quiet. And the sad thing is that you hear more now that the fuel levy has come into play. You hear more about the fuel levy than the fact that the fuel prices have come down drastically and impressively. But that's the key thing. But the fuel levy also. You see the angle here? And the sad thing is that the people in the NDC too cannot stand their ground and say, we did this and that's why we did this and that's why we're enjoying this. And even if there's full level, this is the reason why. And standing by it is like, let tiptoe around it. And folks, yeah, look at the thing like the gold board. You know, I mean, I think it is a good record to have that the reserves, the gold reserves in the Bank of Ghana have shot up more than double. And shooting up the gold reserves in the central bank is really directly accountable for how the CD and the appreciation has been able to manage. There's a link between that and the gold board. And the amount of reserves that they have at the bank now directly affects the value of the currency.
The gold board has so far been a great blessing to Ghana. And there is no gainsaying that. Within the short period that we have operated, first as PMMC and now as gold board, we've exported close to 50 tons of gold as we speak. And that is gold from just the small scale sector. And for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from the small scale sector has exceeded gold exports from the large scale sector, showing clearly that the small scale sector is a very important and critical sector that, as the President said, if properly harnessed, can really help the development and the transformation we all seek for our beloved country. And that is why he has established the Ghana Gold Board. And so we will not let the people of Ghana down. When you hear that we have exported over 50 tons of gold, because this month alone we are doing almost 9 tons of gold, then you know that this month alone we brought in nothing less than $900 million in forex for the Bank of Ghana. And so if the Bank of Ghana has enough forex liquidity for the market and for government obligations, and the CD is strong and stable, it is because of some of these things that the Gold Board is doing.
Who's talking about it? Who's explaining things for people to understand? No, I'm just reversing this. Trust me, if this was under the NPP, Bawumia would have rightly given about 24 lectures to explain what they have done to show up the reserves of the gold in the central bank and how that is directly related to the performance of the currency. They would have sent it. You know, what we don't even hear about it. We all know that, well, there's been some appreciation. And remember when the appreciation started, the whole Ghana was saying, so ancient. You know, everybody was like, oh, well, this is just going to be a 9-day wonder. Nobody in Ghana trusted it though. And that's why people were complaining for the longest time that, but the dollars, the CD seem to have appreciated, but the prices have not changed. Do you know why? Because the market women were afraid. Say, check. This was not sustainable. It's going to be a 1-month thing, and then they will forget it. The CD will go down again, and the dollar will rise. So tell it's a 9-day wonder. Nobody believed it. You know what I'm saying? But it's been 7 months, and to be able to hold the currency there for 7 months is appreciable. No, all I'm saying is that if it was under NPP, the lecture series, the topics, the talking and everything would have been celebrating how great they have done. You know, fuel prices, remember where they were? 18 plus. And see how it has come down? Have you heard any lecture from Atofose to explain what is going on? You know, nothing. So I'm saying, NDC, let's small, because that's how Jandam quickly overtakes things. If you don't communicate positively, constantly, you see how Jandam will quickly come and overturn and overtake things and create a new narrative. Initially, the narrative was like there was no policy. It's just that the Americans, the dollar is not as strong, so but there's no policy. That was the initial thing.
It's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the CD to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition, and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles.
The appreciation of the CD that we have seen recently, I think one of the things that if you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the city, they cannot tell you one.
But you kept it going, No, a typical example is this no stress fee, I think, you know. It is comparable to the free SHS. We'll see a no stress fees. But what I'm trying to see how free SHS was marketed and put out. No stress fee thing for all the first year students in tertiary. Apart from the few or the students who have directly benefited, I don't even think that people are aware that this is now even a national policy.
I'm pleased to declare the no fee stress policy officially launched. Let it be known across this land that from today no Ghanaian child will be denied entry into tertiary education simply because they cannot afford the academic fees. This is a path to a more just society. This is how to build a future where no dream is deferred and no potential is wasted.
Who's talking about it? You know, so it's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? To this date, these are quite remarkable. No stress, all tertiary, first years. Even if you're paid your fees, your money will be refunded to you, and many have received the refunds. And nobody knows this. It's not like anything. I'm not saying grotto, but trust me, if you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. Nobody will say thou art. People don't even know. And can you blame anybody who doesn't know? You know, these are a list of remarkable things that nobody talks about. What are we talking about now? The new ministry. What is this new ministry I'm talking about? Maybe you don't even know that this is, we are not talking about any of the significant things I talked about. What we are talking about is the new ministry headed by Honorable Efri Ankara. I'm calling him the new minister for prophetic reviews. Oh, Ghana. Oh, NDC. Maybe Hamwana. With all the accomplishments that you should put on the table and let people discuss and see where we are going, because they must be sustainable. After forcing, they must be sustainable. You can't do it for this year, and then when it comes next year, it's again, no. You know, and I'm sure you're planning to make sure it is sustainable. Celebrate it. But in the absence of all of these things, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Ministry for Prophetic Reviews. I don't know how true it is, because these days any news can make news, whether it's the truth or the lie. But I hear Prophet, is it Uja, was actually escorted to go and see the president, the man who prophesied that the president will be dying or something ridiculous as that.
The president can be your former, yes.
I think the review council reviewed all the prophets and said, oh, Charlie, where the Abawum? Let me go and take him to JM. Did that happen? Really? When I saw it, I said, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. This is where you want to place the emphasis? That now you have a review committee for prophecies? and the great things you have done, just the appreciation of the CD alone has been able to reduce our debt stock to over 150 million. You're not pushing that out for people to understand that work is going on. I'm not saying do seminars, blah, 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 but at least emphasize the good things that people should know about and celebrate. The way we celebrated NABCO. The way we celebrated, what was it, planting for food and jobs. No, all I'm saying is this, NDC, learn something more. Learn how to, what they call political communication. And stop being reactive, you know. It'll be quite tired when Jandam comes, then you get up quickly. Recently there was some Jandam that you had, the J. Hamlin had left for Japan in a private jet and something at 7 a.m. At the time, Demo was even in Ghana. I think it was at Christ the King. The Jandam said he had left that morning in a private jet to Japan, and then quickly there was a reaction that is not true. He went on a commercial flight and all of that. But I'm saying this, folks, if you do not become alert and project the good things you're doing and assure Ghanaians that this is going to be sustained, and how it is going to be sustained, it is not going to be easy, but Ghanaians need that assurance. But if you do not do that, and you rather think of ministries that will review prophecies, you see what spiritual Jandam will do to you. This is what I call it, spiritual Jandam. Look, Ghana is a democracy, and not a theocracy. You know what the theocracy is? A theocracy is a country that is supposedly ruled by God. Everything is religious. That's why in Iran they have the Ayatollah. Ayatollah is like the God spokesman. Ayatollah just says it's a spiritual position. Even the presidency is a spiritual thing. That's why they have the Ayatollah there. You know, and they go strictly by religious rules, the Islamic code. Okay, Ghana is not a theocracy. Ghana is a democracy. So folks, we have His Excellent John Dramani Mahama. We don't have Ayatollah Mahama. So let's stick with that and let's work with that. Folks, you know, right now if you want to meet JM, just give some prophecy out. When it goes through the review board and they say, then they'll probably come and escort you to go and meet JM. Let's not reduce our presidency. Let us not reduce our presidency to the level where we can't anything provide and it demands national attention. We are not in a theocracy. We are living in a democracy. Anyway, folks, let me wrap up. All I'll say is this. And you remember when I came here, I said, when you go to the Presbyterian Church, Osu Presby, Honabekai, the women class, they would dance going forward. Then somebody would says A. Says A means now go back. So when they dance forward, then somebody says A. Then they start dancing backwards. If one says A. So all the advice I've been giving the NDC is that if you are dancing forward, stay and dance forward. Don't let any prophetic vision come and then start doing A in front of Ghana. They say we all face forward. In Nkrumah says, I don't face the east or the west, the north and the south. I face forward. Let us face forward. And please talk about the important things Ghanaians need to hear about. And don't claim a vacuum for people to fill in with Jandam and jargon. Folks, we're back again. And when we come back, we'll take another look at something else. But I'll tell you, when you tune in tomorrow, we'll be back. But let me gloat more about our platform. If you don't say we are, nobody will say that too. So I'm saying this to all of you out there. This platform is the best platform you find if you want to come and sit down and enjoy the truth, where the chips will fall where they may, and enjoy the truth which has been crushed but is rising again. It is this platform. So I beg all of you, you are sending me plenty of comments and you're congratulating me. I meet you outside and you all seem so happy. I beg, spread the word. Share, and spread the word and make this platform the numero uno platform on online. In the meantime, folks, as I always end it, Ghana is on the way. Oh, we are rising. Let's keep the focus. Let's work hard. Let's increase our commitment, because you know something? This country shall rise again.